I'm gonna be realistic. You will be lucky to have a business within the cannabis industry that will allow you to have a normal life and to be able to use money from the business to pay for all of your living expenses, and you have some type of autonomy and freedom to do as you please as a business owner. But this idea that everybody's going to be millionaires and everybody's going to be rich and everybody's license is going to be worth millions of dollars, that's not how it works. It does not work like that. Just watching this podcast, I believe it's two people from, I think, New Jersey or New York, who they're starting a dispensary. Definitely a lot of respect out to them. Anybody in the cannabis industry creating media content. I think it's called Other Side Dispensary. When I was watching the podcast, a topic that came up was using the cannabis industry to build generational wealth. So before I really get into this topic, I'm going to just let the clip roll. And I may periodically stop it if I have any commentary. I'm just going to react to this clip.
You know, we're going to staff it with friends and family and with some people from the local community. And we self-funded.
Yeah.
Good thing about it is a lot of people believed in me. So I had people that were willing to help me. And are doing it self-fund, man.
That's
bootstrapping it, grassroots.
That's the best way.
That's how we did it to you.
Yep.
And just talking about like the people that these fucking deals, equity deals, people like the going one in Jersey. I was talking to a dude from the Jersey CRC, and he was basically like, all these people have these 2-year deals. It comes out, you get the license, you open up, it's your company and your financier. I was just going to buy you out in 2 years and you're going to have nothing. And it's just like, that's wild to go through. It's a 2-year process that you're only going to own for 2 years. It doesn't make sense.
But let me tell you the truth. Listen, everybody has their own end game. Yeah, sure. I have my end game, but I'm also not in the end game part now. So everybody should have an exit strategy.
True.
But to sell your equity for so cheap and have somebody create the exit strategy for you that you're not going to get the benefit from.
To be not in control of your exit strategy.
See, this is one thing that I feel like a lot of people have a misconception about, is just valuation of their business within the cannabis industry. So when I say valuation, that is basically an arbitrary number on how much your business is worth. And it's extremely hard to understand the value of a business when you don't have any hard assets like real estate, vehicles, equipment, which a lot of retail storefronts, delivery services, in most cases, these businesses don't have any type of hard assets attached to the business. Usually most dispensaries, they don't own any real estate. They usually lease it out. They don't own vehicles or expensive equipment like maybe some cultivators do. In manufacturing and laboratories, they own expensive equipment. So that's actual value for the business. But this is a huge misconception within the industry, because I feel like a lot of people in these newer markets, they have almost like an emotional attachment to the value of their business. And a lot of times that is not accurate, because you may have put in a lot of work and a lot of time and effort, but technically that can't be really attributed into value, because there's nothing that is physical that's attached to the business other than your license. But again, as I always say, a license is just a piece of paper. That's not a actual asset. Like a customer list, that's an asset. Vehicles, product, real estate, those are all actual assets. Those are physical assets. You just having a license, maybe in a state where licenses are limited, maybe it has some value, but it's really hard to estimate that value when they're talking about selling off their business for cheap. Technically, it's cheap to you, but to somebody else, you having a license is not really valuable. Maybe in a state like New York or New Jersey, there is some value to it because it's a harder process to get the license. But what the actual value of that license is really boils down to your customers. What is your revenue? What is the lifetime value of your customers? Things of that sort are actual value, because you have actual metrics that you can attribute to your business, and you can create forecasts and things of that sort to predict, what the revenue is, what your profit is. That's just something I wanted to touch on.
That's really what it is. It's okay to have an exit strategy. It's okay to be wanting to exit.
Yeah.
be in control of that. You know, don't have someone tell you your exit. Yeah. Like, hey, I'm gonna give you this, and you're out now. It's like, well, hold up, fam. Like, I just bought a new car. I just got a house. We just went on vacation, and now, I'm out now.
I think some people do see it as like a lick, right? They'll flip this license, or I'll take the bag that they're gonna get me. I didn't have no other bag before, so this is better than nothing. But I feel like I'm with you though. Like, this could really change your life. You should really think this through more.
Yeah, but it's not a quick lick. That's my point.
No, it's not.
Like, let's say if you're getting bought up.
Yeah, the whole thing about flipping licenses in a state like California, people were doing that in 2018, 2019. But again, that stuff is all good and well early in the market when it's a little bit harder to get a license. But once people realize that the value is in actually running the business, anybody can get a license. It doesn't require any type of business acumen or skill or anything like that, knowledge to get a license. That is not hard. What is hard is actually running a business. Flipping licenses and stuff in these new emerging markets, yeah, you could somewhat do that. But as an industry matures, people start to understand, okay, yeah, you have a license, but that's not what's valuable. And as the years go by, then there's going to be more competition and there's going to be more supply of licenses. So that, again, that devalues your license because it's not as limited. Yes, it's limited now, so there's some value to it in these states like New Jersey and New York because there's a small amount of people that have licenses. But, in 5 years from now, I'll show you what I mean, that it's not going to be anything new to have a cannabis license. Anything, cultivation, delivery, a retail storefront, a manufacturing, because people are going to understand the actual work, the capital, the expertise that it takes to actually make money from that license, and people realize it's not worth it. This is the confusion and the misunderstanding about this industry. It's just people who are green to the industry, but they haven't seen people go out of business. It's all great now. Everybody's trying to get their license. It's a new emerging market, but they haven't seen blood in the streets. It's different once you start seeing reality. And people right now, they're living in a fantasy world in these markets like New York and New Jersey.
Now, after 2 years, for most of us, the total process is gonna take 2 years. So that was a 4-year lick. Like, that's like a big chunk of time to be like, yo, this is just a lick.
Right.
Not fam. I need to own something at the end of this.
Right.
Or like, hey, listen, come in 5 years, come buy us out for many millions of dollars. That's the lick I'm with. Like,
that's it.
That's the only lick.
Oh my God, we're gonna be so expensive.
Yeah.
Because this is a lot.
But this is how you create intergenerational wealth. Everybody throws this term.
See, man, yeah, this is just where a lot of this hype within the industry comes, because it's people who have never been through anything within this industry, within the legal market. They don't understand taxes. They don't understand margins. They don't understand the difficulty, the liabilities that it takes to run any type of cannabis business. They just think, oh, we're going to get rich and our businesses are going to sell for millions of dollars and be worth millions of dollars. I'm going to be realistic. You will be lucky to have a business within the cannabis industry that will allow you to have a normal life and to be able to use money from the business to pay for all of your living expenses, and you have some type of autonomy and freedom to do as you please as a business owner. But this idea that everybody's going to be millionaires and everybody's going to be rich and everybody's license is going to be worth millions of dollars, that's not how it works. It does not work like that. You'll be lucky to just have a business and be able to live a regular life. That's being realistic within this industry. That's even rare as well. If you just look at statistics, 9 out of 10 businesses fail. It's probably even higher in the cannabis industry. It's probably 95% of businesses in the cannabis industry. So that's what I'm saying. You would just be lucky within this industry to have a business that is profitable and you're able to pay all of your living expenses and, have freedom to do as you please, and your business is able to run without much supervision. That's what you'll be lucky to have if you're in this industry. But if you actually look at the different markets, all the different businesses within this market, you would actually realize that most people are struggling. They are not profitable. People are going out of business. I don't think people understand this. In California, the largest cannabis distribution company just went out of business. I was told they made, I think, $250 million in revenue last year, and they just went out of business. So people are just really naive on the expectations within this industry.
But it's everybody loves to throw it around into generational wealth. You don't get it by having an investor take 40% of your business on peanuts.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yes, you can. You can make generational wealth from raising capital and giving up 60% of your business. There's plenty of people who are billionaires from doing that. Steve Jobs owned 1% of Apple. He was a billionaire. Elon Musk, I don't think he even owns over 20% of Tesla. He was one of the richest people on earth. You know, there's just a lot of misinformation about running businesses, valuation, giving up equity, raising capital, because it does not matter how much of a business you own. It matters what is the revenue, what is the profit. You can own 100% of a grape, but if I own 10% of a watermelon, who's gonna make more money? Me. People get too caught up in percentages. How much percentage do I own? Oh, I need to own 51%. That doesn't matter. Revenue and profit, that's the only things that matter. Really, profit. You can own 100% of nothing. You can own 100% of a business that makes $10,000 a year. Oh, great. You own 100%. I would rather own 10% of a business that makes $1 billion a year. It's just math. People talk about generational wealth, but they don't really understand what that means. Again, yeah, like you said, you're just throwing the term around, but you don't understand what that means. 40%, it doesn't matter what percent I own. All that matters is about revenue and profit. That's it.
You don't have it by a franchise model. You got to pay back a crazy debt. Like, you don't have it these ways.
Yep.
There's people, I think his name Junior Bridgman or something like that. He owns 30, 40 Wendy's. I think he's a billionaire. There's plenty of people that own probably in your neighborhood alone. They probably own all the McDonald's in the neighborhood. They're probably multimillionaires. That's a franchise model. So it doesn't matter. All that matters is your expertise within business. If you know how to scale businesses, if you know how to market, if you know how to obtain customers, if you know how to retain customers, that's the only thing that matters, because that's going to grow revenue and increase your profits.
Yep.
The only way to do it is to keep it to yourself. And like the investing from grassroots, do it from home.
Yeah.
And really make it, you know?
My daughter literally refers to the dispensary as that business you're doing to make me rich, Daddy. That's what it's called. The business that you're doing to make me rich, Daddy. Literally, because she'll be like even this morning, it's like I got up, cooked the kids breakfast, they straight, I hopped in the shower, start getting ready. And my daughter's looking at me like, "Where are you going?"
Yeah.
It's like I gotta go work, and she's like, "The business." Because that's how I refer to it. Yo, you want to be rich someday? Yeah. I'm doing this.
I want them to be wealthy. I want your kids to be able to live just like those other people do.
Yeah.
They create these lineages where you're able to change the trajectory, not only of your kids, but your kids' kids and their kids.
Yeah.
And how many lives we can touch that way, and how much we.
Yeah, just really closing it out, man. It's a huge misconception on this industry, but I can't blame people within the newer markets because they just don't understand. They haven't seen the blood in the streets. They haven't been through any adversity. They haven't had their businesses almost shut down because they're not able to make payroll the next week because their sales decrease or their margins are too thin. It's just a lot of inexperienced, overexcited, riding the hype train type people within these newer markets. In 2018, there was plenty of people like that in the California market. None of those people are here anymore. It's only the people who actually know how to run businesses, that know how to keep a lean staff, know how to cut expenses, and then also know how to market their business, create a moat, create USPs, unique selling propositions that allow them to attract more customers, and then have marketing campaigns like SMS, email, mailers to retarget those customers and get them back into the door and hopefully increase the frequency that they shop with you. I'm not going to say it's sad because I am happy for people in these newer markets. They're living their dreams because they're able to get into this legal market. But I would just say they're a little bit green, naive, and unrealistic because, again, in this industry, you will be lucky to break even. I'm not even going to say be profitable because I don't think there's too many cannabis businesses in these more mature markets that are that profitable. It's probably few, But yeah, within this industry right now, you would be lucky within 5 years just to be break even and be able to provide the basic essentials for you and your family and live a comfortable life. Because being a millionaire within this industry, especially bootstrapped, where you haven't put in millions of dollars of capital to start, that's a phenomenon. And that's not going to happen. I can tell you that right now. There's things like competition, the softening on the market when prices begin to plummet because there's too much saturation, 280E. There's a lot of factors that will come into play to prevent you from being able to make a lot of money. You can make a lot of revenue within this industry, definitely, but profitability is still a thing that a lot of people are trying to figure out because of just the high taxation, things of that sort that prevent a lot of businesses to raking a lot of profits. Just wanted to come on here, react to this. It was a lengthy video, but if you want to see more content like this, me doing more reactions to other people and other podcasts within the community, please like, share, comment, subscribe if you're new. And until next time, peace, I'm out.